All right, who can give me an example of a word that might have the prefix anti in it? Yeah, antidote, that's a great one. So we want to find out the meanings of these prefixes. And to do that, we can look at these words that we know the meanings of. So we've been talking a lot about the Transcontinental Railroad in social studies. What was the Transcontinental Railroad? Yeah, it was a railroad that went from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast. So what did it do? It went across the continent of the United States. So that tells us that the prefix means across. Let's look at the next one, multi-packs. When you're getting a multi-pack of rubber bands, you know that you are getting many different kinds of rubber bands. So what does the prefix multi mean? Many. And think of the word prepare. When you're preparing food, what are you doing? You're getting it ready to eat before you can eat it. So the prefix pre means before. Introduction. The introduction of a book tells you what's going to be inside the book. So we know that the prefix intro means in. And lastly, antidote. What does an antidote do? It fights a disease, it fights a sickness, it goes against that sickness. So the prefix anti means against. Latin prefixes are very useful because they don't ever change. Anti will always mean against, regardless of what other word follows it. So a person who is antisocial is someone who doesn't like to socialize with others. They're anti-socialization. They're against socialization. If you look on a bottle of medicine and it says anti-inflammatory, you know that it is against inflammation. So Latin prefixes and knowing what they mean is a very useful tool because when you look at other words that you may not know the meaning of, like anti-inflammatory, if you know that anti means against, you can but it gives you an idea of what the rest of the word is. Anti-inflammatory. You know that it's going to be against inflammation. When you look at words like prevent, right? Before. When you're preventing something, you're taking an action before that thing happens. For your work time, you are going to look at 3 different commonly used Latin prefixes. And you're going to write words with those 3 prefixes, and you're going to tell me what you think those words mean based on what you know of the word in addition to the Latin prefix.